Hi, I'm Amy, and I am thrilled to be coordinating our Humane Education program. So we work with students from kindergarten right on up to undergraduate students who are pursuing a degree and will be our future veterinarians. So we started working with public and private schools, K through 12. We work with superintendents, we work with principals, we work with curriculum directors, and of course we work with the teachers. We incorporate our homeless animals right into the current teacher lesson plans. So each of our programs are unique and custom made to each teacher. We deliver all our content virtually. We utilize Zoom, video sharing, and of course email. The length of each project is completely up to our teachers. And each project really begins with our animals, our homeless animals. So I collect some biographies and some pictures, and I send them over to the teachers, and then I let the teachers do their thing. They have their classes virtually, like vote on who they're going to adopt, and then they incorporate them into their lessons. So we're talking reading, writing, research, team building, inclusion, just really getting those students engaged. We also work with student organizations and clubs. Some of our past projects included a local 4th grade reading class. This teacher had 3 reading classes, and they worked on reading, of course, but they also worked on writing and poetry and drawing pictures of our animals. So they shared with that with us, and then they also did a fundraiser where they collected all their spare change. And at the end of this 9-week program, they donated back a couple $100 to help with the daily care of our animals, which I thought was fabulous. We also worked with the 6th grade English class. They were working on writing, of course, so persuasive writing, actually. So they did advertising, little advertising on Google Slides for each of our animals, and on all the positive attributes that our animals had to try and help them get adopted. So they submitted all of these advertisements for us to use, which we posted out on our Facebook and our Instagram, in hopes that we can help get our animals adopted. So we were really excited to work with them. They also did a fun questions for our staff, and our media coordinator did a fun spin-off on Saturday Night Live and went around and answered. We tried to answer all the questions for them as he interviewed our staff. Like I said, we work with some of our student clubs and organizations. We worked with an equity club where they really did some research on social inclusions, and they intertwined our harder to adopt animals like our pit bulls or our black dogs or our black cats, and they also did a fundraiser for us too. And our local French club, while they're speaking French, they were making blankets for our cats. So it's amazing what these students come up with and how they incorporate our animals into their programs. We also started working with vocational schools. So BOCES out of New York, we created a 6-week internship program where one 11th grader came. He commuted for 6 weeks up here and rotated through 3 of our departments, our cattery, our kennel, and our community clinic. He really did not know what he wanted to do after high school. So he knew he wanted to work with animals. So he kind of got a taste of what we do around here. And he prefers dogs, so I think that's what he's going to pursue, either dog training or working in a kennel like what we see here. So it was really nice getting to work with students one-on-one and helping them navigate their career choices. One of the most exciting programs, part of the Humane Education program, is our on-site pre-vet internship. So we work with those undergraduate students who are majoring in animal science or biology, but they're on the pre-vet track. So we've been doing this since 2014, so the past 7 years. We have a 12-week program. We do this 3 times a year, spring, summer, and fall. And those students come, they live on site here. Our housing facility is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home. So we can realistically hold up to 3 interns, but with COVID, we've kind of done just 2. So they live on site and they rotate through 4 different departments, through our community clinic, of course, because that's what draws them here. But they also go through our kennel and our cattery, and then they spend some time in our administrative office. So when they're in our clinic, they're taking part in spay and neuters. surgeries, they're doing wellness exams, they're doing vaccinations, and then they also help with the on-site care of our resident animals, which sometimes we have upward of over 100 cats, and sometimes we have upwards of 30 dogs on site at any time. So when they rotate through the kennel and the cattery, they are directly involved with our team, and they help with the daily care, the cleaning, behavior modification, enrichment. They pretty much do everything that our caregivers do. One highlight of this program is they also get to foster one of our animals, and so we give them the choice. They can either foster a dog or a cat. So for instance, if they choose a dog, then we start them in our kennel rotation. So they learn all about our dogs, and then at the very end of that rotation, we all sit down as a team and decide which animal really needs to get out of a kennel setting and would do well in a home setting. And then we set them up with all their supplies, and we meet with them weekly to go over progress, any setbacks, and how the animal is doing, with hopes of them being adopted out before that intern leaves. And 9 times out of 10, that animal finds a home, which we're so excited about. When they go into the administrative office rotation, they sit down with our executive director. They find out how we're structured as a nonprofit organization. They meet with our board president to see how our board interacts with our staff and helps this organization on a daily basis. They also learn about our volunteer program, how our adoptions are run, and they sit down and work with our media coordinator. Some of the projects that they do in each rotation, some of the most fun ones that we've seen happen is on the media side. Our past summer interns took over our Instagram account for the day and did a day in the life of an intern, which we thought was fabulous. They highlighted their foster doggo, and they just kind of went right through the clinic rotation during that day, and it was great to see. They also help with our dog of the week and our cat of the week and our sanctuary stories for our newsletter, and the girls actually did a TikTok on their foster doggo, so it was just awesome to see them get so involved in our organization. Some other projects is our adoption wall, showing all our dog adoptions for the month. They've also done a book of recipes for our dog enrichment projects that the kennel staff gives the doggos every afternoon, like Kongs and Frisbees and licky mats and so forth. And they also do projects in the clinic, like they create educational brochures that we can give out to our community members, or posters for the reception area. So we're really impressed with what the interns bring to us, as well as what we try and teach them while they're here. So they really do get a look of how our organization is run and how our animals are taken care of here at the shelter level. So I said we do 3 sessions per year. Summer is our most competitive because that's when they're kind of out of school. Just this past summer we had over 60 applicants, and a quarter of them were interested in shelter medicine or management. So it was really hard to narrow down those choices down to two interns. But we have them come from all across the country. Our summer interns were from California, and the other was from Columbus, Ohio. All the universities range across the country. Our past interns this past year, Elmira College, University of Minnesota, Kansas State, some of the SUNY schools. So we really work with any university or college that has a student that's interested in our pre-vet internship. Let me see what else we're trying to do. Is so competitive. We are looking for ways to expand our housing options here. So we're looking at adding some more housing facilities so we can take on definitely more interns at one time. So we really are the liaison between their university and the student. I correspond with them back and forth on whether or not they need paperwork on our end as far as getting credit or the hours needed to count for their internship, which is good. And then we are also writing letters of recommendation and or references as they apply to vet schools. So we really see it come full circle from kindergarten to our vet school students. So it's really, really lovely to work with. So not only do we work with students, but we're also working with some local agencies as well. We've worked with Achieve in New York and Martha Lloyd in Pennsylvania, and these are adults with intellectual disabilities and or autism. So we're working with individuals who live in a group home or are going through their day programs, and they virtually adopt our animals too, and we help them work on their projects that they're focusing on. We are in the preliminary stages of a project with the Area Agency on Aging, where we're going to try and link up some cat adoptions with some seniors, and that's going to hopefully help with some of the social isolation problems, especially faced with COVID in our senior population. And last but not least, we're also working with youth advocate programs where they take on at-risk kids on whether or not they're going to finish out their high school careers. So we've worked with them and their caseworkers. They come in and they shadow what we do here in hopes that they can find a career interest that will help them stay in school and help them pursue a career and a job choice after graduation. So that's why I'm so thrilled. We do have a humane education program. We work with kiddos and adults of all ages.